On the Barrabas incident, response to Malphar 3S. Part 2 of my critique of Malphar's mark and authorship video will be out soon, but I felt it necessary to respond to this video, as I see various problems with it. It is important to acknowledge that this is an argument from silence, which are sometimes valid but not in this case, thus meaning we should be very wary of this line of thinking.
Barrabas and Jesus before Pilate makes so much more sense as a literary technique and not an improbable event in history. We're expected to believe that Pilate, a pretty brutal ruler by all accounts, is set to release a prisoner in celebration of Passover, a custom we have no evidence outside of the Gospels for, and no evidence of any Roman ruler ever doing such a thing like that.
It is unlikely that if this was a fabrication, all four Gospels would report this, as it would damage the credibility of the early church. Even if this wasn't the case, we have several examples of Roman officials releasing prisoners. For example, Livy talks about prisoners being released. The newly appointed ethnarch Archelaus released many people imprisoned by his father. A papyrus in Florence reads, "You were worthy of scourging, but I gave you to the crowds." And Pliny Younger also records the release of prisoners via petition. In addition to that, we may possibly have a reference to the gospel tradition in the Mishnah. They may slaughter the Passover lamb for one whom they have promised to bring out of prison on Passover. Craig Evans and N.T. Wright note, this was done for purely political reasons to satisfy the demands of the crowds and to carry their favor. The Passover pardon, therefore, reflected Pilate's shrewd political instincts, not political weakness or human kindness. Pilate is very cautious with Jesus, as he does not want to offend the masses and incite a riot.
On top of that, we're expected to believe that Pilate is going to allow the release of insurrectionists, so we're expected that Pilate releases a dangerous enemy of the state so that they could possibly continue to fight in guerrilla warfare, all because the Jews wanted to.
If politically convenient, the Romans were willing to release prisoners who had committed the worst of crimes. For example, Caesar pardons 2 mutineers who killed 2 Praetorian guards and pays them 1,000 drachma each in London, Italy. Mutiny was usually seen as high treason and treated with execution. Josephus describes how he begged Titus to save 3 of his friends from crucifixion. Titus obliged to his wishes. Keep in mind, these were Jewish rebels who had taken part of the revolt against Rome in 70 AD. They were most likely charged with sedition via insurrection. I have not gone into rigorous detail, as my good friend Dan Christopoulos is also responding to this video and will go into more depth, but I think this video has shown several flaws with Malphar's argument.